If he runs, though, as a third-party candidate, what do you think that does in this next election?
I don't know, but he's got great support in the party.
Yeah.
He's got, in the Democrat Party, he's got 20%. I saw a poll today, 23% of the vote. That's a lot of vote.
You say that you're a Democrat, but you're getting a lot of support from a lot of leading voices on the right, like Steve Bannon, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, former President Donald Trump. Many Democrats fear that you're a spoiler in the race, that you will damage President Biden in the primary and grease the skids for former President Trump to return to the Oval Office.
Yeah, it's, a lot of people like you and him as a combination, too. I don't think that can happen, but have you ever thought about that? Trump Kennedy looks good on a bumper sticker.
No, but people have suggested it. I read the same things that you do. There are a lot of people suggesting it. There's no question about that. No, I've known him over the years. He's a smart guy and well-intentioned. I really believe he's very well-intentioned.
And so I'm proud that President Trump likes me.
What's going on, guys? So we got to talk about RFK Jr. potentially dropping out of the race and endorsing Donald Trump. Okay, so for those who don't know, and believe it or not, guys, there are some people who have no clue about this. RFK Jr. is running in the race as an independent candidate. Now, he started as a Democrat, but since the radical left is so radical and so out of control, he went rogue, just like Tulsi Gabbard and many others. Now, this dude has been struggling. Both him and his running mate, Nicole Shanahan, have been struggling, okay? They basically have no money. They're spending all their money fighting legal battles just to be on the ballot in a bunch of states, and that's irrespective of the fact that they also have to try to win votes in the states. So essentially, they have no chance. But what they're trying to do is consider their possibilities of still getting maybe some of their agenda pushed by potentially, at least this is what it sounds like, negotiating some sort of deal with Donald Trump to where they drop out, they endorse him, and then maybe they can do something on the side, like maybe RFK can have a cabinet position or something like that. The details on this are great, but I'm going to let you hear it straight from Nicole Shanahan, his vice president nominee's mouth.
My gut tells me right now is that we just have to keep being honest. I got to just keep being honest. I got to keep focusing on what matters the most outside of party lines. I need to focus on a vision that goes beyond November. And if that means that we stay in, and, there's benefits to staying in. If we get over 5% of the vote, we actually establish ourselves as a party. 71% of Americans want a strong third party with a real shot at winning. There's even public funds available if we get over 5% of the vote. So we could get, I think it's like $13.5 million in public funds to keep the party going. And that's, that's worth something. That means that we can position for a real third party election in 2028 where we don't have to go around and spend tens of millions of dollars on ballot access.
Well, real quick to stop her here. Now, for those who may not be putting it together, besides what she's saying, one of the things she's saying that she hasn't gotten to yet is the Donald Trump component of it. And by potentially endorsing Trump, by dropping out now and endorsing Trump, they could potentially curry favor with that Trump association, that alliance, so that later on they could potentially be decent third-party contenders going into 2028. Obviously, right now, what with them being against the Democrats and the Republicans and having no chance, they're looking at getting under 5% in the 2024 election and probably also again in the 2028 election. So effectively, they need some help if they're looking to get anywhere at all, be it now or in the future.
Which means that we can spend all of that time and money campaigning. So, there's two options that we're looking at, and one is staying in, forming that new party, but we run the risk of a Kamala Harris and Walz presidency.
Let's focus on this for a second. his VP nominee does not want Kamala Walz. RFK is a far leftist. Okay, make no mistake. Like he's somewhat moderate as it relates to free speech stuff because they tried to suppress him. Everybody's like that when they try to do something to you. But they're not saying they got an issue with Trump. They're specifically calling out Harris Walz, okay? Fraudster, cackling, lying Harris, and then stolen valor, fake IVF story, total fraudster Walz. All of these guys, both Harris and Walz, are complete frauds. It's insane and pathetic that so many Americans don't see this yet.
Draw votes from Trump, or we draw somehow more votes from Trump and Walz presidency because we draw votes from Trump, or we draw somehow more votes from Trump, or we walk away right now and join forces with Donald Trump and you know, we walk away from that and we explain to our base why we're making this decision. Not easy.
Clearly.
Yeah, not an easy decision.
Guys, I don't think that this would be said. I mean, this is a pretty big thing. You could technically say that this is just a hypothetical. Maybe she's just talking, but who the hell talks like that? I mean, she's pretty much talking like she's throwing in the towel already. I mean, this can't be instilling confidence in getting additional independent voters to vote for you. It really sounds like the objective in her mind is to kind of throw in the towel now, cut your losses, and hope that an alliance with the Republican Party and Donald Trump's MAGA movement will inevitably help them in the future. Not to mention, obviously, if the Democrats get elected, then you can forget about third-party candidates because the Democrats have stooped to every possible low, every type of lie and gaslight and trying to take people off of ballots. The Democrats are the ones, by the way, who are fighting to keep RFK Jr. off the ballot. Democrats believe that RFK Jr. is going to take more votes away from them rather than from Republicans. They're the ones who would not allow him to be an actual candidate in the Democrat primaries for real. They previously rigged it in favor of Sleepy Joe Biden, and before that, it was Hillary Clinton. I don't know if you guys remember this call between Donald Trump and RFK Jr. here, but it seems like these two actually have a much better relationship. Wait, does Kamala Harris have a relationship with RFK Jr. at all? Has she ever even spoken to him? I mean, I don't even know if that's ever even happened.
I agree with you, man. Something's wrong with that whole system.
Yeah.
And, but you and I talked about that a long time ago. And anyway, I would love you to do stuff. And I think it'll be so good for you and so big for you. And we're going to win. We're going to win. You know, we're way ahead of the guy. And, you know, he's interesting. It was very nice, actually. He called me.
The last thing I'll play here is a grievance from RFK Jr. about how the mainstream media is pretty much stonewalled him. And it sounds like it's from all sides. Like the only place I've seen this person is, well, I've seen him like, you know, kind of around platforms like the X platform, but he says he's shadow banned on multiple other platforms. And I think I've seen him like maybe a few times on Fox News, but besides that, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean,
how do you keep going with that?
I think my biggest issue is that the mainstream media will not let me on.
Yeah.
They won't let me talk. And, you know, if you remember when Ross Perot ran, he was on every night.
Yeah.
He was, every night he was on, and he got 19% of the vote. And but he was on Larry King like 2 nights a week, and then he was everywhere. And in 18 months, I've had only one live interview, which is Aaron Burnett. This week, I did CBS with Major Garrett, and it was a taped interview. And as you know, they can mess around with the tape interviews. But and then I had 2 small interviews on CNN with Michael Schmerkanish. But other than that, I'm completely banned on those networks. And then I'm shadow banned on, you know, Facebook, etc. It's enabled the mainstream media to characterize me as a crazy person, as anti-vax, as, you know,
That's what they do.
As dog-eating, as racist, as anti-Semitic, all this stuff they put on you. They use those pejoratives to marginalize you and to vilify you, to demonize you, and to make people feel, oh, I don't have to listen to him. He's a crazy person.
Right. What with Kamala building a little bit of momentum during this continuous honeymoon period of the DNC convention, obviously Kamala is getting a notable boost right now during this convention. I really think that this is something that could help a lot. Now, I don't agree with RFK Jr. about almost anything, but one thing I would be willing to get on board with is RFK Jr. helping Donald Trump win. I 100% agree with that. The only reason why I might be concerned about RFK Jr. dropping out of the race and endorsing Trump is there's a possibility that a lot of those voters don't migrate towards Trump. Again, RFK Jr. is a leftist. Some of those people might very well say, oh, well, I guess I don't have a choice. I guess I gotta vote for Kamala. A lot of those people I doubt are gonna just, one, sit on a couch, or two, necessarily vote for Trump. So it could be a mixed bag. If RFK Jr. endorses Trump, there's going to be some people that absolutely are going to vote for Trump, and there's going to be some people that vote for Kamala. Some people are going to sit out. At this stage of the game, it might be a bit too risky. It might be better off just to have RFK Jr. just trimming off those leftist voters, because I do believe that the majority of them are absolutely voting as Democrats. The enemy is my enemy, is my friend. But let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
We walk away right now and join forces with Donald Trump, and you know, we walk away from that and we explain to our base why we're making this decision.